everyone, we are People in Action, and in this video, we are going to talk with a representative from Southwark Works, an organization supporting residents from the South East London Borough. Here, we'll find out a little about how this organization can help you to find a job. Today, we have invited a member from Southwark Works. Before my partner, Joseph, start this interview, I ask you, Jane, to introduce yourself. Welcome, Jane.
Thank you, Pedro. So hello, everybody. My name is Jane Couchman, and I manage a program that's called Southwark Works. And I've been invited to come along and talk to you today to tell you a bit more about what we do and how we support people trying to find a job.
Thank you, Jane. I'm Yusuf. I have some preoccupation to ask you about your organization. And the first one will be, what is Southwark Work?
Thank you, Yusuf. Southwark Works is a network, actually. It's not a single organisation. It's lots of different organisations are grouped together in a network. So it's about 9 different organisations, and we all provide different parts of the programme that's called Southwark Works. And that is all about helping and supporting Southwark residents to find jobs, to find better jobs if they're already working, or to find training, apprenticeships, volunteering placements. So our main aim is to get people working or progressing in work.
How and when was it created, your organization?
So it was created 15 years ago now, maybe 16 years ago, 2004. So the council wanted, unemployment was very high at that time, and the council wanted to provide a service for its residents, particularly those people that were coming from disadvantaged backgrounds. So people that were finding it hard to get a job, harder than average person. So people that didn't have English as a first language, people that had issues around disability or health conditions, people that had issues around childcare, couldn't afford childcare, and a number of other barriers that stop it from being easy for people to find work. So they set up this program in order to provide that kind of specialist support for those people that find it the hardest to get a job.
What type of organization are you? Are you working with the government or just a private?
So we are commissioned by the local authority, the council, Southwark Council are our commissioners, and we work very closely with the DWP, so the job centres. We have 3 job centres in Southwark, and we work closely with them. But we are mostly guided by the local authority. So all different organisations, some charities, some not-for-profit. We're a whole bunch of different organisations, the 9 network providers.
Thank you, Jane. I will ask my colleague Zainab to ask you some questions as well.
Thank you, Yusuf. Hi, Jenny. My name is Zainab. And my first question is, what objects and goals do you have?
So our main goal for all of us is to find people work, and preferably work that is sustainable. So not kind of temporary 0-hour contract type work, but work where people can get a career and they can progress and move forward, and not get stuck in the same job for years and years and years. So we try to work with employers locally to make sure that people are getting decent pay and decent conditions, as well as not just any old job, but just to help people progress. Really, that's our main goal and objective for everybody that we work with.
Thank you. Do you receive any commission from company who find suitable and candidates for?
Yeah, no, we don't charge for our services at all. So we're not an agency. We're not like a recruitment agency. We don't make a charge to individuals or to businesses, companies. Projects are funded by the local authority. They're for the benefit of Southwark residents. And if Southwark residents are getting jobs, then that's their main concern. So we're not about making money. We're not for profit.
How many people work in Southwark Works, and what specialisms are there?
Okay, so I explain we have 9 different providers, and some of those might be organisations that you've heard of, like Thames Reach or St Giles Trust. They're big charities that work across London, some of them. And so they all offer a specialism to the network. So for example, St Giles Trust are a charity that have been working for many years with people that have criminal records or ex-offenders. So quite often when you have a criminal record, it's very difficult to get a job, because quite often some employers, don't want to employ people that have records. So St Giles help people to understand how to disclose and talk about their past and their criminal convictions, and also to decide whether or not they need to disclose them, because sometimes you don't need to. So they're the kind of specialisms. We have them for people that are homeless or at risk of being made homeless. We have specialisms for people with learning disabilities and health conditions. Specialism for young people, so under 25s. And now, because of COVID, there are a lot more young people unemployed than there were last year. So anybody under 25, people who are over 50, because they often also find it very hard to get a new job, because people think they're too old and they'd rather have a younger person. So lots of different reasons why people might struggle to find a job. We have a families specialism project, so working with parents or single parents. I think that's probably all of them. Mental health is the other one. I knew I'd forget one. So mental health is the other one.
Okay, thank you very much. And my last question is, Jenny, do you collaborate with other organizations?
So yes, we do. We do collaborate with all sorts of different organizations. When people come to us because they've been out of work or they haven't had a job for a long time, quite often they have lots of other problems as well. Maybe they owe money, they have debts, they might have housing issues. There are lots of problems that come with being out of work. And so we talk to and collaborate with lots of organizations that can help with all those other problems as well. So we try to provide, support about other things, not just about employment. So, things like ESOL classes. For a lot of our clients, language is the thing that's stopping them from getting a good job in their own country and from home. They may have good qualifications, they may have had a very good job, but when they come to the UK, if their English is not good, then they can't find a job that's as good as the one that they may have had from home or for their qualifications. So getting people into good English classes is very important, for getting them a good job. So all those kind of other issues as well.
Thank you, Jenny, for your definition, and I understand everything. Thank you so much. I pass to my colleague Mansa.
Hello, Jane. I have 5 questions for you today, okay? My first question is, what are the requirements for eligibility?
So the main thing is that people have to live in Southwark, in the borough of Southwark, because the programme is funded by the council, by Southwark Council. Obviously they can't afford to fund other local authority residents, so they can't pay for Lambeth people, Lewisham, Greenwich, they can only pay for their own residents. So the service is only for people who live in the borough. And then the second thing is that they must have the right to work in the UK. So that means they have to show us some documentation, like their passport or a visa or their settlement documents from the EU now. Everything is changing because of Brexit. And that they, you know, they can be working or not working. None of that matters, but the key things are that they live in Southwark. They are from age 16 to, I think, 74 was the oldest person that we ever worked with. So any age and living in Southwark, working, not working, doesn't matter.
Okay, I understand. Thank you. The next question. Are you currently facing problems to offer jobs?
Well, it's a good question, I'd say, because obviously since the pandemic, things have changed an awful lot. And a lot of companies and small businesses and hospitality, retail businesses have closed and they're not open at the moment. So there are a lot of jobs missing. I think that last year in March 2020, there were in Southwark 19,000 people who were claiming universal credit, so the benefit that people go on. And now in March 2021, there are 42,000 people claiming universal credit. So more than twice, more than double the amount. So a lot of unemployed people now and not so many jobs. So it's very difficult at the moment, very, very difficult for people. Gradually now, as lockdown is starting to ease gradually and more shops and businesses will be opening in April, May, June, then we are hoping that we will see a lot more jobs coming and in hospitality and retail again. So yes, the market has changed in the last year.
My next question, how has the pandemic affected labor supply and demand?
Yes, a lot. I mean, we were able to find jobs in the last year, a lot of NHS jobs, so in the health service, care companies, lots of people in those places were ill themselves or they left and people were sometimes a bit too scared or frightened to work there. So so there's a big gap and they need lots of people in the health service even now. So there are jobs, and then a lot of things went online. So there were some more kind of online jobs. There were also things like delivery. So supermarkets and delivery services went up and up and up. So there were some, different types of jobs. So things just changed a lot. But of course, the big change is that there are a lot more people now looking for those jobs. So there's a lot more competition for jobs.
What barriers do people face when they are looking for a job?
So as I said before, Southwark Works has always worked with people that are struggling or have challenges and barriers to finding a job for all sorts of different reasons that I've spoken about. And now, of course, lots of people have lost their jobs who've had jobs for a very long time and are very experienced and have good qualifications. They have a reference, they have lots of recent experience, work experience. So now there's two kind of groups of people, and obviously the ones with the good experience and the good work histories are the ones who will be, more likely to get jobs quickly. And that means the other people who we were working with and have been working with for a long time are going to find it probably even harder for a while until the market levels itself out again. So it is very tough for people.
My last question, how can you help people?
Okay, so our service is very much about individuals. Depends on what the individual wants and how much support they want. So some people are more independent and like to do their own job searching and do their own applications, do their own CV, all those kind of things. And other people need a lot of help with that. So we help with anything that people want us to help them with. So if it means helping someone to write a CV, helping someone to do an application for a job, preparing somebody for an interview, if you know they're a bit nervous about having an interview, we can help with that. When people get jobs, we help out. We pay sometimes for their travel for the first few weeks until they get paid, because we know that, you know, if you're on benefit, it's very difficult, and traveling around London is quite expensive. So, and we sometimes help out with some childcare costs if people are struggling when they first start work. So there's lots of ways that, you know, we offer support to people, and also to signpost them to other services like ESOL classes or maths and English classes or construction training, whatever it is they want to do, we will try and help them to do that.
Thank you, Jane. Now my partner Daniela will continue with the interview.
Thank you, Monse. Hello, Jane. My name is Daniela, and I would like to ask you a few questions. My first question is, do you give one-to-one support?
Yes, we do. Yeah, I think it's been very difficult during the last year because we are very much a face-to-face service. You know, we have an office in the Walworth Road, and people come in and they come to use computers, they come to talk to an advisor, and it's very, very difficult to do that one-to-one support always over the phone or FaceTime. But normally, and we hope very soon, we will be back to proper one-to-one support again.
My second question is, are there any opportunities for disabled people?
Yes, so we know that people with disabilities are, you know, at a big disadvantage when it comes to finding jobs. So we have organisations that work with people that have health conditions and disabilities, and we also have a specialist provider called Unity Works that works with people that have learning disabilities. So people who maybe are on the autistic spectrum, or have some kind of learning difficulty like dyslexia or dyspraxia. So we have very specialist support for that, and has been very successful in helping people.
My third question is, are Southwark Works services only for Southwark residents? Is Southwark Works part of a network of organizations across London or the UK?
So no, we are just an organisation or a network for Southwark residents. There are other programmes similar to ours running in other boroughs. Where can I think now? Lambeth and Wandsworth have programmes. I think Wandsworth is called Work Match. Newham have a programme called Workplace. So there are other similar projects around London, but we can only work with Southwark residents.
My first question is, do you offer any training courses or apprenticeships? Which ones?
So again, we will, you know, we'll try and match people to the thing that they want to do. And if they want to do an apprenticeship, then we will try and find one for them. You can do an apprenticeship in virtually any sector nowadays. There's apprenticeships for everything, even nursing, becoming I can't think off the top of my head, but there are lots. There used to be in the UK years ago just about construction and trades and becoming an electrician or a plumber or a bricklayer. But nowadays you can do an apprenticeship in customer service, in business administration, all sorts of office-based work, also in tech, IT, lots of kind of technology-based apprenticeships. So it just depends on what the person is interested in and what previous experience or training they've done. But there are lots of apprenticeships on the government have their own apprenticeship website, and you can find all sorts of apprenticeships on there. So yes, we do. We work with a lot of local construction employers. So we do get a lot of construction apprenticeships and we work with the colleges and the training centres to kind of make sure that people are aware of them and are able to apply for them.
My last question is your support service free for anyone?
Yes, absolutely. There's no charge for individuals and no charges for businesses either. So as long as they're Southwark residents, then it's free. But we don't work with anybody that isn't a Southwark resident, and there's no charge.
Thank you very much. My classmate Antonio will continue with the interview.
Thank you, Daniela.
Hello, my name is Antonio, and my first question is who usually requests your service?
Hi, Antonio. Thanks. It can be anybody, really. We have, as I said before, we have anybody from 16-year-olds to 70-year-olds. Some people who've, worked all their lives, some people who've never had a job before, and a variety of reasons of why they're not working. Obviously, at the moment, we have a lot more people who have lost their jobs in the last year because of the pandemic. So quite recently, unemployed people. But the service is for anybody and everybody. Sometimes we have graduates who, have good qualifications, but just can't get a foot in the door somewhere. And then sometimes we have much older people who've worked all their lives and become redundant or lose their jobs and are struggling to find a new job, and may not have had an interview for 20 years. So, they have to have a lot of support around getting up to speed with recruitment nowadays, which changes, a lot of it's done now online. So, there are things changing all the time that people need to be kind of kept up to date with. So we try to do that a lot, but the service is for anybody who wants to use it.
Thank you. My second question is what kind of jobs are the most requested and what are the most offered?
That's quite a difficult one. I would say probably the most requested is probably construction and administration. So lots of people that want to get a career in construction. A lot of that is about an apprenticeship, but also lots of people that want to work in an office setting, perhaps in finance or IT. So anything kind of office related. Those are probably at the moment. Before the pandemic, it was probably hospitality, retail, those kind of jobs. But anything and everything, depending on what someone wants to do. In London, there are always jobs. Sometimes there are less than others, but there are always lots of jobs, and there will be again, probably maybe not till next year, but there will be jobs again, and everything from security, NHS, civil service, public sector jobs.
Thank you. My next question is, how can people register with you?
So this is our website. It's quite a new website. We've only had it since December. So anyone who wants to register with us can go on our website and click on here, get started, and that will ask you to fill out a form. So you have to put in your postcode to make sure that you live in Southwark, and then it will take you through and send a message to us to say that somebody is interested in registering, and then we will get in contact with them. So that's probably the easiest way. But we also have obviously a phone number, we have email, we have Facebook page, Instagram, and when we're open again, we have our office in the Walworth Road, which is near the Elephant and Castle. So people can just come in and say that they would like to register, and so long as they can prove that they live in Southwark, they might have to show us some documents, then we can get them registered.
Thank you very much. My last question is, how can people contact you?
I can send you our contact details. So our website is the best way, salatworks.com. We have free phone number, 0800 number. Email address is just info@southwarkworks.org.uk. And I can share this information with Adela. So if anybody is interested and lives in Southwark, I'm not sure if any of you guys do live in Southwark, but if you do and you'd like to register with us, then I can share that with Adela for you.
Thank you very much for your interview.
Today we learned about another helpful organization called Southwark Works, who can help people from this borough to get a suitable job in any sector. This kind of organization can be found in other boroughs with different names but similar programs, so that residents who are struggling to find a job can register at the Southwark Works website and get support. Also, this organization finds courses for people where they can get new skills so they can start looking for a job. They can provide one-to-one support for those who need more help. Even though face-to-face support has been paused, they can talk to you online. So they continue to assist people in this tough situation, as it's even more difficult to get jobs until the market gets back. To benefit from these incredible organizations, you have to know in which borough you are and how it works. So if you don't have a job or just lost your job, don't hesitate to contact them.